Alright, so we're kind of in progress here. Binding on the Doug Fir topped Spalted Maple back and sides OM that I'm currently working on. I went ahead and got, let me back up a little bit. So I put the flat piece, which you can't see from this camera angle, I put the piece of, so this purfling, black-white purfling, it had to go flat in the channel underneath the binding. And that's a good trick. And I did that prior to putting the top binding on and purfling. Combination of super glue and push pins and gluing my fingers to the guitar and things like that. So because this Wenge, it bent, and it's, I mean, I'd never do this if I hadn't pre-bent it, but it was not wanting to pull in right in this waist here. So I glued it and pulled it in. I put this piece of binding on the outside of the other side just to protect the binding channel so that I didn't clamp against unprotected binding channel. It would just screw that up royally because it's very, you know, this is soft wood. I don't have a lot of pressure on these clamps. I have a lot of extra height on the Wenge, so having the clamps laying on that doesn't hurt a thing. And I actually have some extra thickness as well, so I don't have enough pressure on any of these points to actually dent the wood. But I thought I would do, at this point, is go ahead and get the glue on this section. I'm glued to this tape. And this piece, of course, wants to go the other way. It's actually bending the other way. So, but I'm just going to get it up here, kind of out of the way. Get some glue in there, and then I'll work it in with the brush. I think it might be easier to put it on the little piece of purfling here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll do that just so we have some glue between the binding and the purfling. This stuff breaks super, super easy. And all I'm doing is picking up some of the glue that's puddling in other places and putting it on here. I'm sure I'm out of the camera at this point. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing on camera. I hope so. Anyway, I'm just kind of trying to pre-line up that purfling. And I'm poking it down in the binding channel there. There we go. Poke it down in there with my thumbnail. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and wipe some excess glue off of the top here. It'll all come off anyway. I gotta sand all this down, you know, bring the binding down to the right height. Now that I got that wet, I'm going to go ahead and put a temporary piece of tape out here on the back end of this thing, just to kind of hold it in the right spot. I might have to use a little different type of binding tape. I do have it close. The old school StuMac binding tape. Pretty strong stuff. Let's see if that works. Alright, so we're going to go around and do just that. We're going to binding tape this. I'm just pushing this purfling down to make sure it's seated. I won't make the mistake next time of leaving my binding too wide when I've and bend it. I don't know why I didn't check that and size those before I bent it. Maybe I just thought it would be just as easy to scrape them down here, but really not. It's going to be a lot of extra work scraping this down. And because the binding's so tall, it does tend to want to roll. If this were plastic binding, it would definitely roll the binding out of the channel on the bottom side, the bottom edge. So let's just see how this goes. I think I'm pretty tight. I don't have any issues with this binding all the way around here until I get down to here. It just has a bend right here that didn't work out in the bending machine, or it bent it wrong or something. I don't know. It is not playing nice with the shape of the guitar. Push down, push in, pull down, and then pull in on the top on this one. And check constantly to make sure that everything looks tight and that if you push on it, you're not getting any movement. Looks good. Sometimes it feels like movement, but it's just the meat on your thumb moving. Okay. This orange tape is pretty good for binding tape as well. I think that's what they originally replaced the old school binding tape with. And I believe they have that tape back now for some reason. I don't know if they just had problems sourcing that tape for a while, but they weren't able to provide that for a period of time. That's when the orange tape came in. I really like the orange tape because it comes in 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch. Oh, yeah, that didn't stay. I just washed that. I just washed the glue off the side of the guitar there so that tape didn't stick down there. I have put sealer shellac on top of the fir so that I don't peel the grain out of the fir when I pull the tape off. And that's always a good idea. Shellac or lacquer, a wash coat of lacquer, whatever you like to use or you have handy, basically. I'm going to add some of this other tape right here because when I start pushing this in, it's going to want to push this out. Trying to stay ahead of that. All right. See how that's gonna let me do that. Yeah, I think that'll pull in. Okay, so let's let this loose and get some glue in there. Oh, it had glue in there. I'm gonna refresh this a bit. I'm pulling this perfectly off of here because it's glued on there pretty good already, and I want it to be able to move, to slide if I need it to. let's get this pushed down. Well, that pulled in good. That's going to be good. This heavier tape, I think, helped. Longer pieces. That's very nice. All right, I'm going to cut you guys loose at this point. We're good. I'm going to be going around to the front bout and doing that, the top of the guitar. And I'm going to have to cut this. I'm going to have to cut this right here at the end graft. So I need to let that go and bring it back a little bit and see what I can do with that. Anyway, this is in my way. I might just let it dry, actually, to tell you the truth. It's probably not the best way to do it, but I think I can do that. Well, I'll tell you all about it next time. We'll see. What do you think is going to happen? Okay. All right, folks. Thank you. That's it.